I am sitting here today with my father, Paul Henry Carr, who has recently written a book titled Beauty in Science and Spirit. I'm going to be having a conversation with him to find out more about this book. So, Dad, so you've written this book, Beauty in Science and Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you tell me just a little bit, just briefly, what is the book about?
Well, as the title says, it's about beauty in science, which, being a scientist, I guess that's why I went into science, made it a career, and also about spirit. And by spirit, I mean religion without organization or authority.
So, what you're saying is that in this book you're exploring beauty as a sort of connecting factor between science and spirit, by which you mean sort of, in some ways, sort of a spiritual experience?
No, I just find beauty in both,
Uh-huh.
and particularly in religious music, like Handel's Messiah, Bach cantatas, and in story, particularly the first chapter of Genesis, which I mention a lot in the book, feel it needs to be updated with more modern scientific cosmology.
Interesting, yeah. So this book, did this come out of some sort of professional history, or did it come out of personal history? How did you find yourself writing that book?
Well, I think it started, basically, goes back to being the son of a minister, growing up in a minister's home, and going to MIT and discovering there that there were people for whom science was their ultimate concern.
So in some ways it's like these sort of two different worlds where you grew up with, but Grandpa was a minister, but he was relatively, liberal and secular in that sense. He wasn't, was he a creationist?
No, definitely not. Okay. No, he very much loved Teilhard de Chardin, and as you may remember, he had 7 granddaughters. Do you remember that? Do you remember anything about what he did for his 7 granddaughters? Remember he wrote an interpretation of the 7 days of creation?
Right.
For each granddaughter. I forget which day yours was, but I remember Kirsten was the first day because she was the oldest.
I guess that would make me Friday.
Make you Friday. More about my book, Beauty in Science and Spirit, would you please visit my webpage, mirrorofnature.org.